AITA for letting my girlfriend block me before she found out who really paid for her lifestyle? My girlfriend, Delaney, just broke up with me over text because she thought I was broke, and now I'm realizing she never truly loved me. My name is Griffin, I'm 29, and I've been running a tech startup in Austin for the past 3 years. Business has been going well, nothing crazy, but enough to live comfortably. I've been dating Delaney, who is 26, for 14 months. And honestly, I was already thinking about proposing to her, but that was before I discovered what she really thought of me. From the beginning, there was a red flag I ignored. Delaney has a group of friends, Kendra, Peyton, and Talia, and they're always doing expensive things. Weekend trips to the wineries in Hill Country, $300 dinners at trendy restaurants on South Congress, spa days that cost more than most people's rent. And somehow, I always ended up footing the bill. Babe, can you get dinner for the girls tonight? We're celebrating Kendra's promotion. Or, the girls want to do that new cocktail tasting downtown. It was always something. My credit card was constantly maxed out, funding their little adventures. But I loved Delaney, right? And she always said, my friends are really important to me. I just want everyone to have fun. My best friend, Carter, had been telling me for months that something was off. Dude, when was the last time she paid for anything? Not even a coffee, he would ask. I think she's using you as a human ATM. But I always defended her. She's just social, man. She likes to include everyone. Carter wouldn't let it go. Last week, he said something that stuck with me. If you're thinking about proposing, you should test her loyalty first. See what happens when the money's gone. That's when he suggested something insane. Pretend I'd gone bankrupt and see how she'd react. I thought it was crazy at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized I needed to know the truth. I spent the weekend creating fake documents, showing my company failing, investors pulling out, everything to make it look like I was about to lose it all. On Monday morning, I called Delaney. I need to talk about something serious. Can you come over? She showed up around lunchtime, and I told her everything. The startup is going under. The investors found issues with the projections and are pulling funding. I'm on the verge of bankruptcy, Delaney. I'm going to lose everything. Do you want to know what her first reaction was? It wasn't, oh my God, are you okay? Or we'll figure this out together. It was, wait, how broke are we talking? She said we, as if my financial problems were automatically hers too. I told her it was bad, really bad. I said I'd probably have to sell the car, move back in with my parents, everything. And you know what she asked? So, you can't take us to the wineries this weekend? What about Peyton's birthday dinner at Fleming's? We already made reservations. No concern for my emotional state, no questions about how I was handling the stress, just anxiety about the impact on her social calendar. I'm sorry, Delaney, but I can't afford any of that right now. I'm freaking out here. She looked at me like I'd just told her I had a terminal illness. I need to think about this, she replied and left. That was on Monday. By Wednesday, she had completely ghosted me. She wasn't answering my calls, leaving my texts on read. On Thursday night, I was at Carter's place, trying to distract myself with video games, when he came back from dinner looking grim. Dude, you're not going to believe what I just heard. What happened? I was at that new sushi spot on South Lamar, and Delaney was there with her crew. 2 tables over, and they weren't exactly whispering. Carter sat down next to me, shaking his head. She was telling them about your financial situation. She said, he's basically broke, bankrupt. And you know what Kendra said back? I didn't want to know, but I asked anyway. What? Time to find another ATM. There are plenty of rich guys on Hinge. And Delaney was laughing. Carter said she then added, Peyton told me I should have had a backup boyfriend this whole time. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. 14 months together, and I was nothing more than a walking wallet to her. On Friday morning, I got the text that ended everything. Griffin, I've thought a lot about us. I can't handle your financial situation right now. I need someone stable who can support the lifestyle I want. My friends think I deserve better. And then she blocked me. But here's the detail she never saw coming. The bankruptcy was completely fake. My company is doing better than ever. We just closed a massive deal that's going to triple our revenue. But Delaney will never know that, because she showed her true colors the moment she thought my pockets were empty. On Saturday morning, Carter found me sitting on his couch, staring at my phone. You okay, man? She broke up with me. I replied. Over text. Said her friends think she deserves better. I'm sorry, dude. But now you know who she really was. The worst part? Even knowing it was all an act, I was still devastated. For a moment, I had truly believed she loved me. But everything changed that same Friday night when her dad called me, and what he said completely changed how I saw this whole story. Update 1. Friday night, I was at Carter's place, feeling like complete trash, even though I knew the bankruptcy was fake. That's the weirdest part of this whole situation. Logically, I knew she had failed the test, but emotionally, I still felt rejected and heartbroken. It was like my brain knew it was all an act, but my heart hadn't gotten the memo. I had only met her dad 3 times in 14 months because Delaney always made excuses to avoid family dinners. She'd say her parents were complicated. Griffin, I just spoke with Delaney. She told me about your company's situation, he began. I thought he was calling to offer help or maybe send some money to support his daughter's heartbroken ex-boyfriend. But then, Vincent, her dad, said something that made my stomach drop. I wanted to thank you for being there for her during that cancer scare last year. Delaney said you paid for all the medical tests when her health insurance was being difficult. Cancer scare? I asked. There was a long pause on the other end. The lump she found in her breast. She said you paid for the ultrasound out of pocket because she couldn't afford the deductible. Said it cost almost $2,000. I was speechless. I had never heard anything about this. I never paid for any of her medical tests. And her health insurance, from her social media job, is excellent. She even used to brag about it. Vincent, I think there's been some kind of mistake. I never paid any of Delaney's medical bills. Another long pause. That's why she asked to borrow money from us last month. $3,000. She said it was to pay you back because she didn't want to be in debt to her boyfriend. My head started spinning. While I was paying for extravagant dinners and weekend trips with her friends, she was scamming her own parents, claiming she owed me money for medical tests that never happened. Vincent, I think you should talk to Delaney about this. There seems to be a misunderstanding. We ended the call, and I immediately got Carter. I told him everything. Dude, she's running a scam on everyone, he said. You fund her lifestyle, her parents think they're reimbursing you, and she pockets the cash. But it got even worse. That night, Carter's younger sister, Sienna, got back from nursing school. She'd been away for months for her clinicals and hadn't seen me since I started dating Delaney. Sienna looked at me sitting on the couch, probably looking like I'd been hit by a truck, and instantly went into caregiver mode. Carter told me what happened, she said, sitting next to me. I can't believe someone could be so cruel. She made me soup when she realized I hadn't eaten in 2 days. She sat with me through a fresh panic attack at 3 a.m. She took care of me with no questions asked, no judgment. You know what the worst part is? Even knowing it was all an act, the pain still felt real. That's because your feelings were real, Sienna said. Just because she was faking it doesn't mean you were. On Saturday morning, I woke up to find Sienna in the kitchen. She'd made breakfast and was looking up something on her laptop. What are you doing? I asked. Researching laws on financial abuse against the elderly, she replied. What Delaney did to her parents might be illegal, and it's definitely immoral. It was in that moment that I realized something. Sienna wasn't just pretty, which I'd never really noticed because of the best friend's sister code. She was genuinely good. When was the last time Delaney stayed up with me through a panic attack? Never. When was the last time she cooked for me when I was too stressed to eat? Also never. You don't have to research laws for me, I said. I want to, Sienna replied. When someone hurts people I care about, I get protective. People she cares about. On Sunday morning, Vincent called me again. He had confronted Delaney about the supposed medical tests. She admitted there was no cancer scare, he said. She said she panicked when we asked about the payment and made up the story. She promised to pay the money back. I'm so sorry about all of this. Vincent, you don't need to apologize. We're the ones who should be sorry, he replied. We raised her better than that. But the worst was yet to come. While I was talking to her dad, Delaney was already back on the dating apps. A friend of Carter's, Reed, saw her profile on Hinge. The bio read, looking for someone financially stable who knows how to treat a woman. The audacity of this woman. On Monday morning, I got a call that completely changed my fabricated bankruptcy situation. But what my business partner told me, and how Delaney reacted when she found out, made me realize I had truly dodged the biggest bullet of my life. Update 2. I can officially say it. The karma train has left the station, and it's heading straight for Delaney. On Monday morning, my business partner, Nolan, called me with news that would have made Delaney's head spin if she hadn't already shown her true colors. Griffin, are you sitting down? Tech Venture Capital wants to buy our platform. They're offering $42 million. I almost dropped my phone. $42 million for a company Delaney thought was bankrupt 3 days earlier. Are you serious right now? Dead serious. They want to meet on Thursday. This is it, man. We made it. I was in Carter's kitchen, and Sienna was making coffee before heading to the hospital for her nursing clinicals. She saw the look on my face and knew instantly something big had happened. What is it? You're pale. You look like you've seen a ghost. My company just got a $42 million offer. Sienna just stared at me for a second, and then she started laughing. It wasn't a mocking laugh, but that kind of unbelievable, cosmic justice laugh. She breaks up with the broke guy right before he becomes a millionaire. I probably should have kept quiet and celebrated privately, but I was still hurt, still angry. So, I posted something subtle on Instagram. A picture of the acquisition offer letter with the caption, "Sometimes when one door closes, a much bigger one opens." Within 2 hours, my phone exploded with notifications. First call, Delaney. I didn't answer, but she left a voicemail, and I saved it because it's pure gold. Griffin, hey, it's me. I saw your Instagram story, and I think we need to talk. Maybe I was a little hasty on Friday. I was just scared about the financial situation, you know? But I realize now that I should have supported you through the hard times. That's what love is, right? Call me back. I miss you. Delete. Second call, Kendra. I didn't answer that either, but she left a message. Hey, Griffin. It's Kendra. She really loves you, you know? She just panicked. She's learned her lesson, you know? She knows she was wrong to put money before love. Just give her another chance. Soon after, Peyton texted, Griffin, Delaney broke up with you over text and blocked you. Now she wants to talk because she saw an Instagram story. She was just scared. Women do crazy things when they're scared. I turned everything off, but the truly insane part came the next day. On Tuesday morning, I was at a coffee shop near Carter's place, having coffee with Sienna before her shift. The conversation was easy. We were talking about her classes, the acquisition meeting, when a woman approached our table. It was Talia. Excuse me, you're Griffin, right? Delaney's ex. Sienna, who is an absolute sweetheart, immediately tensed up beside me. She may be sweet, but she's fiercely protective. What do you want, Talia? Sienna asked. Look, Delaney is really sorry. She made a mistake, but you have to understand. She's been hurt before by guys who couldn't support her. Support her? Sienna cut in. Or support you and your friends too? Talia looked at Sienna as if she'd only just noticed her. Sorry, who are you again? Someone who actually cares about Griffin as a person, not a bank account. I'd never seen Sienna get defensive like that. It was attractive, to be honest. Talia tried to recover. Delaney just wants to apologize in person. She feels terrible. Then she should have felt terrible when she thought I was broke. I replied. Not after she saw my Instagram story. On Wednesday, her desperation hit an all-time high. Delaney showed up at Carter's house. I was in the living room with him and Sienna, going over some documents for the company sale, when the doorbell rang. Carter looked through the peephole and whispered, It's Delaney. Sienna stood up immediately. I'll handle this. Sienna, you don't have to. Yes, I do. Before Carter or I could stop her, she opened the door. Hi, Delaney. Griffin's busy right now. I need to talk to him. It's important. Funny how he became so important after you saw his story. From where I was, I could see Delaney's face change as she realized who she was talking to. You're Carter's little sister, aren't you? The nursing student. The dismissive way she said little sister made my blood boil. Sienna is 24, only 2 years younger than Delaney, and has more integrity in her little finger than the other has in her entire body. I'm Sienna, she replied calmly. And Griffin doesn't want to see you. I think he can speak for himself. That's when I stood up and walked to the door. Delaney's face lit up when she saw me. Griffin, I need to talk to you. I made a mistake, a huge mistake. Yeah, you did. I panicked, but I'm here now. You're here now because you think I'm rich again? Her eyes darted to Sienna, then back to me. Is this because of her? Are you really getting back at me by hooking up with Carter's little sister? Before I could say anything, Sienna stepped forward. I thought she was going to fight, but she just smiled. Delaney, I was the one taking care of Griffin when he was having panic attacks because of you. when he couldn't eat or sleep because someone he loved abandoned him when he needed support the most. That's what people do when they actually care about someone. You don't know anything about our relationship. I know enough. And then she shut the door. I stood there for a moment, just looking at Sienna. Carter, behind me, was grinning from ear to ear. It's about time, I started to say. More than time, Carter finished. But what happened at the acquisition meeting on Thursday and the text I got from Delaney right after made me realize this story was far from over. Final update. I just got back from the most surreal week of my life. The acquisition deal is closed. Delaney has completely lost her mind. And I think I'm falling in love with my best friend's sister. Life is wild, man. The Thursday meeting with Tech Venture Capital was just insane. They not only confirmed the $42 million offer, but also said they want me to stay on as CTO with an insane salary. Nolan and I walked out of there with a bottle of champagne and a check that was going to change our lives completely. I called Carter immediately. Dude, we're actually rich. How rich? Buy a house and cash rich. Never have to worry about money again rich. Later, I went over to Sienna's place, where she was studying for her nursing board exams. The moment she saw me, she jumped up and hugged me. It wasn't a polite, congratulations hug. It was a real, emotional hug. And for the first time since this all started, I felt genuinely happy. I'm so proud of you, she said. You deserve this. It was in that instant that I realized something. For 2 weeks, Sienna had celebrated both my fake failures and my real successes with the same intensity. She cared about me, whether I was broke or a millionaire. Carter was watching the scene with that all-knowing look. What? I asked. Nothing, man. Just think you two are cute together. Sienna blushed. Carter laughed. I'm just saying what everyone's already thinking. On Friday morning, I made the mistake of posting one more Instagram story. Just a picture of the signed contracts with the caption, "Dreams really do come true." Within an hour, my phone started ringing. Delaney. This time, I answered. Griffin, please, we need to talk. Delaney. It's over. But I love you. I made a mistake. Just one mistake. One mistake in 14 months. You broke up with me over text the second you thought I couldn't fund your lifestyle anymore. How do you know all of this? Everyone knows, Delaney. Your friends are texting me trying to get you a second chance because they know I'm rich again. There was a long pause. This isn't fair. Maybe money was part of the issue. No, Delaney. It was the entire issue. You love my wallet, not me. That's not true. Then prove it. If you really love me, date me broke. Let's pretend the acquisition fell through and see how long you stick around. Silence. That's not fair. That's what I thought. I hung up. But on Saturday, things got even weirder. Sienna and I were at the coffee shop again. It had become our morning ritual when Carter called me. Dude, Delaney is asking about Sienna. She's digging for information. What kind of information? If you two are together, how long she's been staying at your place, if you're serious about her. I looked across the table at Sienna. She was reading something for school, her hair up, a distracted smile on her face. We weren't official yet, but maybe I am serious about her, I admitted. Carter laughed. I know. And she is too. She didn't have to tell me. I've never seen my sister look at anyone the way she looks at you. Delaney showed up at the coffee shop. She must have waited in the parking lot until she saw us arrive. Griffin, I know you're in here with her. I turned around. She was standing in the doorway, wearing a designer dress that I probably paid for, looking like she was ready for a magazine shoot. What do you want, Delaney? I want to fight for us. For what we had. We didn't have anything real. Yes, we did. You're just confused. You're vulnerable right now, and she's taking advantage of that. Sienna didn't even look up from her anatomy book. I'm right here, Delaney. I'm not talking to you. Well, I'm talking to you, Sienna replied, finally looking up at her. Griffin isn't vulnerable. He's fine. He's successful, kind, and he deserves someone who loves him for who he is, not what he can buy. And you think that's you? I know it's not you. Delaney then turned to me, her eyes cold and challenging. Choose now. Her or me. I looked at Delaney. Designer dress, flawless makeup, manicured nails. Every detail about her screamed luxury, vanity, and appearance. Then I looked at Sienna, wearing her hospital scrubs, hair in a messy bun, no makeup, surrounded by flashcards for cardiac medications. And I said, I choose the person who stayed up with me during my panic attacks, who made me soup when I couldn't eat, who celebrated my success, and would have supported me even if I had failed. So her. Delaney's face fell. You're making a huge mistake. The mistake was dating someone who saw me as a credit card. She left without another word. That was 3 days ago. Sienna and I are taking things slow, but Carter has already given us his blessing. You've been looking at her like a lovesick puppy since Christmas, he said. I was just waiting for you to notice. Last night, Sienna and I were talking about everything that happened. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you hadn't tested her? She asked. I'd probably be engaged to a woman who was scamming me and her own parents to support her friend's lifestyle. And I'd still just be Carter's little sister. Fair point. You were never just Carter's little sister. She smiled. So when did you know? Know what? That you liked me? I thought for a moment. Probably when you made me soup at 2 a.m. and didn't ask for anything in return. That's when I realized what real care looks like. For me, it was when you were having that panic attack and you kept apologizing for waking me up. You were falling apart and you were still worried about inconveniencing me. I think that's when I saw the real you. That's a weird reason to like someone. It's the most beautiful reason I could have. This morning, I got one last text from Delaney. When this thing with the nursing student is over, call me. I'll be waiting. I showed it to Sienna. Are you going to respond? Already did. I showed her the text. Don't hold your breath. It's been a month since the bankruptcy test, and I'm still processing everything. But I know one thing for sure. The right person doesn't abandon you when life gets tough. They don't see you as a bank account. They love you whether you're broke or rich, tired or triumphant. Delaney taught me what conditional love is. Sienna is showing me what real love is. Oh, and Vincent, Delaney's dad, called me yesterday. She never paid back the $3,000 she borrowed. He's thinking of pressing charges. Karma is a beautiful thing. The startup acquisition was finalized this week. I'm officially a millionaire, and the woman I'm falling for loved me when she thought I was sleeping on my friend's couch with a failed business and a broken heart. Sometimes, the best thing that can happen in your life is the wrong person walking out of it at exactly the right time. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.